Welcome, everybody, to Oceanside Library's Poetry Near and Afar. We are delighted to have two people who have read for us before here tonight, Edna and Jack. And so without any further ado, Edna, you're up.
I'm ready. I'm going to read poems from my book, Decent Exposure, that was just published by me, and start with three poems that are autobiographical. 1963, Jerusalem, Lottery of Life. When the moon is full, anything can happen. It was mid-Adar, the lunar Hebrew month, eve of Purim, holiday of lots. They met on a train from the hills of Jerusalem to the shores of the Mediterranean. He was a handsome, shy freshman, nature-loving student of zoology, traveling to his mother who lived on the slopes of Mount Carmel. She was a free-spirit city girl studying at the art academy, fleeing the ire of a vengeful boyfriend. "Let's get a snack," he suggested. But at the cafe, there was an empty seat just for one. She said, "I can sit on your lap," and he didn't object. After the holidays, they traveled back together. He shared an apartment with friends. She lived alone in the old part of town, an outhouse in the courtyard. It was a rainy night, windy and cold, but inside perfectly warm under the blankets when they finally fell asleep. In Jerusalem, 6 decades, 2 children, 6 grandkids, and 1 great-grandson ago. 2018, California. Farewell to an era. The time has come to bid farewell to good old days in Palo Alto, paradise on the peninsula, where spring is always the season, and say hello to new days ahead. The time has come to leave the garden of Edna and Dan on Walnut Drive, where Fuyu persimmons grow by the driveway and Gravenstein apples, they are the best, on the old tree in the backyard. Farewell to you, resident hummingbird, permanent fixture perched on the branch of lemon verbena, curiously watching our quotidian, sitting at our kitchen table, drinking our morning Java, checking our feed on Facebook. 2021, Idaho, Ode to 80. When I was young, I couldn't wait to grow up, to pass the final tests, to graduate, to leave my parents' home, to live alone. I couldn't wait for the end of my military service, admitted to the art academy. I couldn't wait to set my eyes on Paris for the first time, view Vermeer's Milkmaid in Amsterdam. I couldn't wait to pass the driving test and take my new boyfriend for a romantic ride. I couldn't wait, I really couldn't wait to get my period, which was already late. I couldn't wait to be a bride, to see how the wedding pictures came out. I couldn't wait for the lab to call back and have their vlogs confirm I will become a mom. When I was 10, I couldn't wait to be much older. 70 years later, the wait is over. The following poems were inspired by breast cancer. From breast cancer to neither. They took away my breasts, but not my heart, and spared my brain. A void lined with memories has filled with a new sensibility and a new definition of beauty. Nothing is more beautiful than life. Closure. Today I clean out the closet, close the final chapter of my book of boobs, and the saga breasts interrupted. the last remaining braziers in my chest of drawers, still in perfect shape, head to Goodwill. May the lovely cups find a good home, a new B-size pair to have and to hold. Hindsight. The young and fearless girl loved to explore uncharted territories. Foundation makeup, shades of bedroom eyes, styles of push-up bras. In Paris, she found romance. In Amsterdam, she rode a scooter on the wet, slippery road along the canals. In Italy, she hitchhiked with total strangers. You are invincible at 21. Fast forward 5 decades. She watches 2 pints of type A negative blood drip slowly into her veins via an access port implanted near her heart. Never again will she take anything for granted. Life in the time of COVID. Much too small to be detected by the human eye, yet devilish enough to put us all in harm's way, robbing so many of livelihood, of life. Though free of ankle bracelets, it keeps us under house arrest. For some, much worse, trapped with those who hurt them most or even kill them first. But when you share shelter with the one you love, all the Syrah you wish to drink and Telemann to listen to, Puccini from the Met streams right into your Mac so you can sing along at the top of your lung. Then via Zoom, still in your pajamas, take a class with poet Ellen Bass. With all that, how can I not delight in being held hostage, stuck at home? So maybe I should get tested, not for the novel virus, but rather for the syndrome known as Stockholm. Heartache. Esteemed cardiac surgeon, no one matches your expertise in mending the human pump. With deft hands, you harvest a healthy vessel from the leg, connected to bypass a blockage in the artery and restore the flow of blood. But did you ever look inside with open eyes to see where love and empathy reside? In the upper chamber on the right, next to elation and the joy of life? And down in the ventricles, did you notice gloom, piles of disappointments, stacks of broken promises? Sorry, Doc, no doubt. You can replace a faulty valve, but you cannot repair a broken heart. The following poems were inspired by news items and advertisement. I come from advertising. Get rid of laugh lines. Let me tell you, plastic surgeon, why should I wish to reinvent myself? Take years off my face. Eliminate fine wrinkles etched by years of laughter and pain. Portray young-looking visage while all the rest, neck and hands, reveal their true age. I need no witness protection. Living is no federal crime. Why cover up the evidence of committing life? This is my morning prayer. Today, I'm the oldest I've ever been, the widest, the most experienced, completed more journeys around the sun, reached the highest number of heartbeats and orgasms. Today, I also celebrate being the youngest I will ever be, the tallest, the sagest, deeper wrinkles notwithstanding. Never again will I look any better. Trust me. In 2012, Revlon filed for bankruptcy. Ode to Revlon. Rest in peace, bankrupt Revlon. I miss you already. You were the first to paint my virgin lips fiery red, trying to turn teenage girl into a femme fatale. For over 60 years, you were the one and only brand in my arsenal of war paints, the compact in charge of keeping my powder dry in the battlefield of romance, the trusty aide preparing me to face any Mr. DeMille. Farewell, Revlon, you'll be forever gone from the shelves of CVS, but I'm covered for life. My stockpile of Raisin Rage legendary lipstick 130 should last me until I am 120. In 2022, Pope Benedict had to admit that he had lied. Hope and circumstances. Holy Father, Bishop of Rome, Pontifex Maximus, is he not just flesh and blood, mortal like the rest of us, who may sometimes sit not on the throne of St. Pete, but rather in the dentist chair, or worse yet, prepare for the next day's colonoscopy? He may be attired in full regalia, complete with headgear of triple tiara, but under the white cassock and golden pellegrina is just what you'd see at the men's shower arena. American priorities. He did not develop a cure for cancer, new, safe, effective contraceptives, a novel vaccine against the next pandemic, or medication to prevent dementia. He doesn't teach children in middle school or kindergarten, give neonatal care or palliative aid to the dying. He doesn't try to help reduce the growing global warming or the insane mass shootings, gun problem. All he does is play ball. And he just signed a $700 million deal with the LA Dodgers. In this country, we have priorities. Tell me, fellow poets, what is wrong with us? Fifth in line. You are fifth in line, informs the iPhone via text from Great Clips, my trusty hair salon. For a short time in Boise, on a sunny day in May, both I and Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, have something in common. We are both fifth in line, except that we advance in opposite directions. With every child born to his older brother, Prince of Wales, heir to the throne, the Duke moves down, while I rise and soon will become next in line. Poor Harry most likely never will. Happy ending. She left her hat on the train. He left behind an umbrella. On a chilly March evening, looking for what they had lost, they met and found a mate for life in the Hoboken train station by the window marked Lost and Found. Idaho. My first reaction was Idaho over my dead body. No way would I live where Nazis thrive and books are banned. Suddenly, it has come to that. I am in Idaho, my friends. Luckily, Boise is an island of sanity. And in the North End, home to like-minded folk, it is still legal to enjoy latte with fresh croissant in the neighborhood cafe, or Mary Oliver, the summer day. Best of all, and while we still can, read the New York Times and write a poem. I don't know how much time I have left, but this is the last poem.
You are doing fine. You've got about another 5 minutes. You're good.
When the time arrives, one day it'll happen. I will take my final breath. So please take note. I don't wish to be embalmed for viewing, made to look lovelier than I ever did alive, then packed in a box and buried in the ground. I wish to be cremated, but please don't store my ashes in a decorative pewter urn displayed atop a mantel. Carry them over to the Boise River by the weeping willow, where Canada geese and mallards float and bald eagles perch in cottonwood trees, watching the water for fish. Just remember to sprinkle my ashes over the stream sometime in the afternoon or early evening. As you may know, I never was a morning person.
Great. Thank you so much, Edna. Really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know I also am going to be cremated. I just don't know if Angie's going to wait until I'm dead before she sets fire.
Let's see.
Yes. I told you I'm going to wake up one morning tied to the bed, not in a good way, but in a bed's on fire way.
With
Oh.
all the teenagers that you have over there, I won't be surprised.
All right. So I will remind everybody, if you do not want to be in the open mic, please put that in the chat. And without any further ado, our very good friend, Jack Zaffos.
Hello, everybody. And thank you for having me, Tony. And so I'll start off this time of the year. I like to start off with a particular poem. As the nights, the nights come on quickly and gets dark so early. So this is called Walking a Dark Night, Holding a Guiding Light. In the beginning, in the quiet, the night unknown, a time of the uncertain, where the path is not yet taken, where the known is shed like old skin, walking the dark night, holding a guiding light, walking the dark night, holding a guiding light. The calm before the fears, the joys and suffering that must come, seen through a new window, holding a new mirror, new vision seen on a new trail on a hillside, walking the dark night, holding a guiding light, walking the dark night, holding a guiding light. Trembling, the knee steps from the familiar to new gardens of delight, where the zephyrs still can unfold you, and new faces befriend you, and repose is still a friend when suffering comes again. I breathe out the old, I breathe in the new, but mostly may I breathe in the clear, walking the dark night, holding a guiding light, walking the dark night, holding guiding light. All right. This next poem is another starting off poem. It sort of evokes a theme that I think is appropriate for for this reading and also appropriate for what follows with the open mic, called Invocation. Bring it from the heart. Come with what you got. Bring it to the circle. That soul space that comes natural. Come with what you got. To do that is a lot. The soul space that comes natural, not the small talk that is peripheral. To do that is a lot. You may feel your heart unblock. Not the small talk that is peripheral, a presence that is medicinal. You may feel your heart unblock. Something within you is unlocked. A presence that is medicinal, and actions that are volitional. By the way, is a form poem called a pantoum. Now this one's called That Red Pen. Really had a lot of fun writing this one. That red pen within my head, ready to correct my thoughts, ready to stand in judgment. Some anonymous hand holding that pen with the red blood ink, warning me, daring me to write a word, daring me to flow a line. The hand twitches as the pen clicks open. A menacing spectacle, like a rod ready to smack a knuckle. Yet I write, as I am doing now, smiling and scoffing in spontaneous defiance. Click away, red pen. Click away and write your remedial cliches. And don't forget to put an exclamation point in bloody red after the ink bombs you thrown. That might no. Put exclamation points in bloody red after the ink bombs you've thrown at my paper. Because you doing this is just enhancing this poem. Explanation point. All right, this is the poem that appears in the Barge Annual for 2024. Called Green Sadness. It is with a green sadness that I venture forth. I enter spring with melancholy, a ship sailing into a sunny, verdant harbor. And a lone traveler to a new land, a stranger walking on strange paths with strange tears in his eyes. I awake the next morning with a numbness of the knees, alone in a room in a house I was afraid to enter. There are blue skies and breezes that call. I watch the mirror as I shave, and I witness a turtle complete with shell and lather, and fear in the face of a road that awaits. All I can do is step, and if I am fortunate, I can dance. My friends tell me that dancing is there. It has nothing to do with luck. I look to the green hills, remembering again, I can dance. And now from the Nassau County Poet Laureate Review. This is called Strawberry Elixir. We stood, facing each other, you offered me your strawberry elixir. You gave it to me with an outstretched hand, an invitation to enter a place barely remembered. I felt the soothing moment, the bliss, the stripping of self-consciousness. I stood there aware in a house I used to know, present in an oasis for the night. Some of you might know that I've been experimenting with accompanying some of my poetry with harmonica. So I'll do one. And this one, I think, goes well with harmonica. It's called Steam Tunnel. We'll put this aside. Start with the harmonica intro. When you walk through this tunnel, through the steam tunnel, and there's sweat on the brow, and you long for an air-cooled room, there's sweat on your brow, and the vapor seizes your breath. This is where, when the waters you have gathered in your flask will wash your soul, lest you fall into the hot mist. You got your marching orders in an air-conditioned room. Now you are in the steam tunnel where the journey begins. There's a recent poem called If Only. If only it all went well, and throats were clear, and hearts did not break. If only we wanted to get along and reach out with a helping hand. If only there were enough people of depth instead of superficial beauty or sarcastic droning. If only it won't be just yet. It can and it won't, and I don't know why. It's not like you even know either, and our lives are so short. So walk on a different path, a path of compassion. So as we walk through the underbrush or the underground, we may be asked to open our hearts in the center of hell. It's called Light, Light in the Dry Dark Night. It is dark now. There can be light. We can shine it in the dark, in the dry night. There is a drought of decency. We do not face each other. Now here comes the parade of sanctimony as holidays come and go. The night is still dark. There is no moisture, not even tears. Just the dry, brittle leaves. This is the vital question. Do we light a light for the vision of each, or do we light the tinderbox and watch the flames rise? And this will be my last one, okay? Yeah, I don't know how much time I have, but this will be my last one. It's called Bridges. There are bridges that are entered in dreams, signposts and transitions, structures made of wood, made of steel, or a lake over vast waters, passages over water to mysteries on the other sides. Bridges to strange lands, clunky bridges, majestic bridges, bridges of grandeur, over blue waters, troubled waters, murky waters, salt waters, misty waters, clean waters for drinking. I have walked bridges, driven on bridges, ridden trains on bridges, over Hellgate, over Spite and Dival. Magical, mystical bridges that have enthralled me, sometimes frightened me, appearing in the inner life of dreams, in the outer life of travel, sending me to the mystery lands of the other side. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jack. Great job. All right, let's hear it for both of our features tonight. Give them both a big hand. All right. So we're going to go around the horn now. Everybody gets to do one non-epic length poem. And so we're going to start off with Ann Cohen, and Valerie, you're on deck.
What a great evening. Edna, I love the pictures, the intimate portrait of your daily life. And Jack, it's always a delight to hear you. And we need more harmonica. All right, this one is an old one. It's called Steamed Dumplings.
Yum.
Dampfnudeln, not steamed noodles, as the name suggests, but dumplings, hearty German fare, plumped and steamed to perfection, paired with thick soup. Dough covered with a linen towel, incubated lovingly in a ceramic bowl, punched down repeatedly after rising. You fretted when the barometer plummeted, rejoiced when a high-pressure system doubled your efforts. After dough was kneaded and shaped on a lightly floured board, it was recovered to rise again. A blue enameled Dutch oven sizzling with oil received softball-sized dumplings that sang as they simmered. Removing the lid required a steady hand. Dripping steam marred smooth surfaces. Mouths watering, we loved the sweet salty taste, crisp texture and smokiness of slightly burnt crust. Peeling away delicate yeasty layers, we paid our compliments by eating our fill. Often you were critical of your creation, bemoaning results that did not meet your high standards. Still, we ate until we could no more. Always self-deprecating, unwilling to risk imperfection, you never served Dampfnudeln to your own mother. No, you never made them for her, and I have never made them for you.
Here, here. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right,
you.
Valerie, you're up, and Marvin, you're on deck.
Thanks, Edna. Thank you, Jack. Just lovely work tonight. Pedestrian Carol. The smell of hot pretzels and chestnuts and cold air mix to make the season's perfume. They sing out his name on the steps of St. Patrick's, singing out loud for their Jesus or Jesu. Any star in the sky is the star that shined over Bethlehem. They walk in the streets by themselves with no shoes. They're sleeping in doorways, hiding from snow, asking for kindness, begging for booze. I can't imagine what it's like to be that way alone. There's love with the ones we've been with all year, touching the ones we've kept in touch with stockings and presents wrapped in tree lights that glow like tears, shed for those who've since gone to Bethlehem. And the lights are brighter on Fifth Avenue. The bells ringing on the horses' reins, they ring to me like the voices I don't hear anymore.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Val. All right. Marvin, you're up. Mark, you're on deck.
The last few weeks, I read some of my poems about literary characters. The last time I read a poem about Laura Wingfield from the Glass Menagerie, and prior to that, Iago and Othello. Today, I'm reading my poem on Oedipus. Oedipus, not knowing the people, killed his father and married his mother. When he found out about it, he rips out his eyes. And Freud used the tale of Oedipus for the Oedipus complex. So here's my Oedipus poem. You can see very well your foolish pride, blind Oedipus, though your eyes are embracing Jocasta's brooch. The sockets in your head are full with the eye of you. They see the riddle of your existence, riddled by your marriage to self-love. And so, blind Oedipus, lean on the richness of knowledge, a fragile cane indeed, to one who stumbles into tomorrow.
Wow.
Thank you very much. All right, Marvin, thank you. Mark, you're up, and Margaret, you're on deck.
I walked into my mind and took the staircase down, after twisting the knob and deciding it had no effect on the sound. I wanted to get to where mumbling was muffled and indistinct, to where light disappeared while peering into a water drain, getting back to the moist and warm, and succumb to a fetal position. But wood boards creak under shoe, and life has gone off the rails. Nuts have lost their willingness to screw, and signposts stolen no longer mark the trails. With knees squawking like pterodactyls, I roamed about the room in a windswept random search panel, flailing an arm to make contact with frayed twine which had hung itself from the sailing lamp out of boredom or dejection from unfulfilled dreams. Perhaps both. But it was said if you were so fortunate to swing in the dark and hit the piñata, you'll see the light and understand where you are in life. I tightened and retied the bathrobe belt. I tripped over the depression I felt. And now my forehead's got a big old welt. An extinguished gentleman such as myself had no business loosening the grout on his way under, of spraying the room with condensation, of moans and groans, of taking this route at all. The shouldn't have done that's multiply in quantity, volume, and mass, while feet bleed and spirit doubles over. This trail of regrets, this gauntlet of 1,000 months traversed in 24 steps. Too far to turn back now.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Thank you, Mark. All right. Margaret, you're up. Larry, you're on deck.
Thank you, Edna, and thank you, Jack, for a great feature. I wrote a haiku and sanryo sequence about my weekends. I ventured out to Montauk. At Montauk Lighthouse, lit up for the holidays, falling snow follows. First sign of snowflakes adds to Montauk Lighthouse holiday decor. Leaving Montauk Point, snow begins to fall, starting my Christmas season. At the lighthouse lighting, snowflakes fall in unison for the holidays. God's perfect planning. A first snowfall in Montauk as lighthouse lights up. On the median, gold garland instead of stripes decorates the road. Only in Montauk, gold garland lines the road, festive road marker. Decorative rocks left at Navy Beach in Montauk, remember loved ones. Left a piece of you at Navy Beach this year, one rock with your name. I left pieces of you at the lighthouse, gift shop, my poetry book. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Right. Larry, you're up. Bruce, you're on deck.
Here is a snippet from my new book, I Should Have Married My World History Teacher. Confessions of a Hoosier Class Clown. Frankfurt High didn't offer sex education classes, but the carnivals that came to town were a worthy substitute. I was intrigued by the men and women running the games and rides. The men all seemed lean and wasted with a pack of cigarettes rolled up in one sleeve of their t-shirts. The women had a slutty look that made teenage boys, especially this one, think they might like to educate me in ways that my high school teachers, every damn one of them, had failed to do. A stripper was frequently one of the attractions. It cost 50 cents or thereabouts to get in. The audience stood only a few feet away from the stripper. After the woman, usually a decent-looking but probably pushing 40, had danced to Caravan by Duke Ellington or some other enticing song, the barker in the tent announced that for those who wanted to part with another 50 cents, there could be more. Actually less in terms of clothing. Anyone who didn't want to pay the extra money was a cheapskate and had to leave. In my experience, there were no cheapskates in these tents. That makes me so proud. After more dancing, the woman took everything off except her high heels. One evening, a stripper rubbed herself down there and then ran her hands through my hair. I didn't wash my hair for a month. Just joking, it was only 3 weeks. Thank you.
All right.
Oh my.
Very nice. Thank you, Jack, as always. Larry, rather. Very funny. Thank you so much.
You
All
are
right. Bruce, you're up, and Doreen, you're on deck.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you, Edna. Thanks, Jack. Thanks to everybody who read. This is an ekphrastic poem. It's based on the painting by Ed Ruscha called The Old Tech Chem Building. The old Tech Chem Building now calls itself Fat Boy. This old fat boy wants to call himself Tech Chem. But the tech and the chems don't do a thing for me. Modern tech all these.
Bruce, we're losing you. Bruce, we're losing you. Bruce, you're frozen and we're losing you. Buddy, we're losing you, right? Everybody else seeing the same thing I am? Bruce, we're losing you, buddy.
losing a tech poem.
Bruce, I'm sorry, you're frozen and we hardly got you there. If you want to start over again, feel free. But what the are you like from the Canadian Northwest? Where the hell are you that you've got service like this?
Can you hear me now?
You're bouncing all over the place. I'll be honest with you. You're freezing, and then your voice is separated from
Yeah, you're freezing.
Yeah, you keep freezing. No, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I haven't had this.
Why don't you try going out and coming back in? I'll grab you when you come back in.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can get you back in. All right, so while Bruce is doing that, Doreen, you're up, and JR, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Edna and Jack, delightful. Everybody, wonderful. This is called Tattoo Camouflage, and it's dedicated to our wild child days when we used to read at the Wild Child Tattoo Parlor. Old guys sitting around drinking coffee, drinking in the smell of tattoo ink, sinking into young flesh, reminiscing, more like regretting the missed moment, etched in our faces, fighting for space in brains, the only organ more wrinkled than the skin we wore, hoping we covered it enough to get by in the young crowd. We got into the place easy enough, bought a coffee, found a seat, tried to look like poets, scarves flung around crepey necks, long earrings, tights on those of us who dare. Beards on the men, masking years, but there was a glow in the room. Poets loving poets, forgiving youth, forgiving age, we spilled our blood, our dreams, our memories on common ground and found a trust, acceptance, a bridge against what might have been a sea of separation had we walked against each other in the street. Old lady, young man, the perfect pair, two ends of the same road, two players in the same game, one at start, one near finish, unified by words. Did someone say poetry is dead? Thank you.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, JR, you're up, and let's hope your notice was wrong.
Hope I can stay on. Thank you, Edna. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Tony. It's not epic, but I will take you back to Thursday. Thanksgiving dinner. Started out organized, got cute invites with talking turkeys, come gobble with us, bought back in September, but never sent them. So emails, texts, phone messages to a limited number of family and friends. 3 days go by, no replies. Resend, rehope someone will come. Looking forward to hosting someone. Next day, one reply. Wish we'd known sooner, but Becky is cooking. Imagine Becky cooking. We'll miss you. Have fun. Next day, a tidal flood of replies. Yes, yes, thanks. Bringing mom and auntie, if that's okay. Bringing Uncle Jack and Grandpa Mel. I groan, leering Jack and touchy-feely Grandpa. Who can I sit them next to? Yes, yes, and yes. All but one said yes, but all but one bringing +1 and 2. We're out of chairs already, so we rent some from the funeral parlor. I laugh at the metaphor of a gloomy gathering. Thanksgiving morning, got Tom in the oven early, peeling carrots and potatoes when the phone rings. Guess what? Becky couldn't get a turkey, so we can come after all. We're so happy, and we're 6, including Marty, the puppy. I told Becky you'd love to meet him, all 100 pounds of him. We bring in beach chairs, set up folding tables, move furniture to make it work, but it doesn't. I have to climb over the recliner to get through the dining room, rearrange place cards. I put leery and touchy-feely at the card table and hope they don't scare the kids. More potatoes, more carrots, hope the turkey is big enough, check on it, and fall on the floor in near hysterics. Oven never turned on. Actually, I never turned on the oven. I crank it up, hope that'll work, realize in my panic that no one offered to bring anything. Send hubby out to get another pumpkin pie, though I hate pumpkin pie, and 2 other I don't care desserts. He leaps at the chance to get away. 3 p.m. No one is here. The turkey is crisp on the outside, still rare on the inside. I turn it down, let it cook. Carrots still hard as oak logs left wet. Sigh. Stuffing never got into the turkey, forgot about cranberry sauce. Open another bottle of wine, wonder where the other one went. Doorbell rings. All 15 guests are there arguing already, all holding pumpkin pies. Marty dashing in through the crowd, barking. Grandpa Mel is fondling a bottle of wine. I usher them in, grab my purse and the wine, close the door behind me, singing Happy Thanksgiving, and meet Paul at a diner for a quiet holiday dinner.
Oh,
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, that's so funny. I gotta remember that about booking out of the door. All right, my friend Bruce, where are you? Let's give it another try.
Okay, again, sorry about that. Thanks, Tony, and thanks to Edna and to Jack. This is an ekphrastic poem. It's called The Old Tech Chem Building after Ed Ruscha. The old tech building now calls itself Fat Boy. This old fat boy wants to call himself Tech Chem. But the tech and the chem don't do a thing for me. Modern tech delivers all these chems for me to ingest, to inject, to help me change my body. But my body's the same as it ever was. It's a head game. Fat Boy says you gotta eat sometimes. Fat Boy spends time shopping for food, preparing the food, eating the food, cleaning up after eating the food. Nah. A Fat Boy spends his time ordering takeout, scarfing fat, sugar, salt, discarding cartons, paper napkins, plastic utensils, empty salsa bottles, down the chute into the recycling container. Tech Chem says maybe you don't have to live that way. Tech Chem says you don't have to spend your fantasy time buying, cooking, and cleaning the dishes. You don't have to spend your real time ordering out, discarding, and recycling. You could spend your time doing something more productive while waiting for the pounds to melt away. But hey, Tech Chem, what's more productive than walking along Austin Street, stopping in the pizza parlor for a pepper and onion slice, the appetizer before the pollo burrito at the taco stand, with an orange soda to wash it down, when 3 oatmeal macadamia nuts cookies for $5 in the new gourmet bakery for dessert? Hey, Tech Chem, what's more productive than that? Hey, Grossberg, nothing, I suppose. Why do you think I changed my name to Fat Boy?
All right, thank you very much, Bruce. All right, I got a quick one, and then we'll close for the evening. 50-foot horizons. I live in a world with 50-foot horizons. Man's work rises, truncating all sight lines. The sun never sets here, it just kind of ducks down. But in the Arizona desert, I watch rain fall miles away from a single distant cloud and gaze entranced as the moon arises from land, not a neighbor's garage. All right, everybody. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Edna. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate everybody coming out here tonight, and look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Thank
Really-
you, everybody.
How soon do you think it'll be